Happy Saturday. I'm King 5 meteorologist Ashley Ruiz. I hope you had a really nice work week and an even better weekend ahead. The weather is going to cooperate for any outdoor activities that you may have planned, but you will want to stay cool. You want to stay hydrated because we are cranking up the heat. With the hotter temperatures coming, we have a ridge of high pressure taking hold of our weather pattern. We may have some drops in air quality, and with the drier conditions and the heat, this could increase the fire danger risk over the weekend early next week, mainly up in the mountains where we are just extremely dry, but nonetheless it is fire weather season. It won't take much. And the reason why we are really heating things up, I mentioned the ridge of high pressure, and it is going to build and it's going to amplify starting Sunday and into Monday. So here's a look at the big picture. Today it's building over the Pacific and it's going to be right over the region, but watch what happens. It expands. You see those darker reds, that just shows it's expanding, it's amplifying, and it is reaching all the way up into Canada as well. And so Monday, potentially into Tuesday, that's when we're really going to feel the heat. But Tuesday, still a little uncertainty, some uncertainties on what happens with this ridge on Tuesday. The models have been going a little back and forth, showing that the ridge begins to flatten, which you can kind of see that there, but then some models are showing it's still in full force. We'll have to see, but nonetheless, we are expecting it to flatten, if not Tuesday, early on Wednesday. And once that happens, that's going to open the door, open the window for some troughing to develop. We'll have a couple of disturbances just clipping the area, and you see this low over Canada. That could bring us some more clouds, the return of onshore winds as well, so that natural AC would return. And at the moment, the ridge of high pressure, you can really point it out, especially on the satellite where we have this band. It's almost a conveyor belt. You see how the clouds are rolling, are moving over the ridge and then moving into Canada, British Columbia, and then moving over the Pacific Northwest. And so this ridge is going to dry us out, mainly at the surface, but also aloft, up in the sky. And so we are going to have a lot of sunshine in place. But as the ridge begins to flatten and it moves more to the west as well, you can kind of see how this ridge breaks down, and then we get some of these disturbances just riding along the periphery of that ridge. But then Wednesday, Thursday, we could have some of those systems getting closer and closer to the area, sending perhaps a front through the area Wednesday, and then maybe into Thursday, maybe late next week and into the weekend, we could have some more showers returning to the forecast. But until then, the summer weather lovers, you are going to love the next couple of days. And for those that don't like the heat, can't tolerate the heat, make sure you plan accordingly. I hope you didn't put your ACs away just yet. But for the next couple of days, today is going to be the coolest, at least until we get into Wednesday. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we're going to have highs in the 80s, widespread 80s Sunday and Monday. Tuesday, again, a little iffy with that. But the coast will be cooler because we will get the return of onshore winds. We just won't really feel it here in Puget Sound until maybe Wednesday, but that could change. So if you want some cooler weather, just wait a couple of days. We had a little kiss of fall last week, or this week, I should say, with the cloud cover, with the cooler temperatures, and then a little bit of rain. But things are changing. We are almost in the middle half of August, so we still have lots of summer to get through. But it's going to be a beautiful weekend in the Pacific Northwest in the summer, our favorite place. And you see around Washington, we have beautiful high clouds atop Hurricane Ridge, but then closer to the coast, we still have a good bit of cloud cover, but those are going to clear as the day goes on. Then we have some of that marine fog over the strait, but that's going to begin to lift. It's going to mix out and peel away as we start to heat things up. Highs today Low and mid 70s just for the inland areas on the coast. The beach is still going to be in the 60s. And then for interior areas from about Everett northward, we should have generally mid 70s, low and mid 70s. The islands could be a couple of degrees cooler, but then you see from about Seattle southward, that's where we'll have perhaps upper 70s, so 79 to about 85 in Shelton. Eastern Washington starts to heat things up as well. Our air quality forecast for today, at least as of 9:30 this morning, still calls for the good to maybe moderate range. We could see some drops to the moderate range in some of our urbanized locations, but not expecting any widespread issues. Sunday morning, we'll have temperatures in the 50s and 60s, so not much relief from the heat before we heat things up into Sunday. But our mornings will trend warmer as well as our daytime highs going forward. There are a couple of heat alerts in place, not for our immediate area. You see Eastern Washington, that orange color, that's a heat advisory. That maroon color, the deep red color, that's an extreme heat watch. That's in place Sunday into Tuesday. Could turn into an extreme heat warning. That's where we're expecting some of the hottest temperatures. And then for portions of extreme southern Washington all the way into Oregon, Sunday through Monday. In fact, the Portland metro, at least portions of northern Oregon, which you can't see on the map here, extreme heat warnings. They could be dealing with some triple-digit heat, so 90s and triple digits. Let's talk about today's highs. You could see temperatures for the islands, or actually I should say Sunday's highs. So not today. It's not going to be this hot today, but we'll get there. Mid 70s you see for the islands, interior areas low and mid 80s, but check out the foothills. We're going to have mid and potentially upper 80s as well for Snohomish County and our islands. 70s you see, but you just go a couple of miles inland and we're talking highs at least in the low 80s for Everett, and then interior areas like Darrington about 90 degrees, Gold Bar 88, 87 in Monroe. For the Seattle metro, running between about 84 to 86 depending on your neighborhood, but just a couple of miles inland you see mid and upper 80s. Now the best chance for us to see 90-degree temperatures going to be South Sound, our valleys, our typical hot spots. Right around 91 in Olympia, Yelm 91, Eatonville 89, even at Paradise going to be in the mid and upper 70s. So if you're planning a hike tomorrow, just make sure the sunglasses, of course your hats, your extra water, and then the bug spray and sunblock as always. The beach is tomorrow, 60s, lower 70s, and then for interior areas along I-5 all the way down into Oregon, pushing the mid and upper 90s. For the Hood Canal region, eastern Olympic Peninsula, upper 80s, lower 90s, and then for Forks 86, you see Nia Bay even 70 degrees, Ocean Shores near 70, and then Squim 82 tomorrow. Air quality at least in that moderate range tomorrow. This could definitely change, but once again, not expecting widespread issues, at least not as of right now. Just with us heating up as well, that could lead to some pollutants. We'll also have to watch for some smoke, but it would be on the light side. We're still not expecting widespread heavy smoke. Into our Monday. Also going to be hot, likely even hotter for some spots. You see all the way to the coast, low and mid 80s as well. Interior areas, low and mid 90s. And then Bellingham, 86 degrees. Meanwhile, eastern Washington, that's when we're going to start to see that century mark. So triple digit temperatures all the way to Paradise if you're spending the day out there, near 80. So as you see, the story, it's going to be hot everywhere, but then Tuesday, as I mentioned, that's when things get a little tricky, and keep in mind this could change. I made our temperatures, or I forecast the temperatures going on the warmer side just because of the story with that ridge and how it's breaking down and then the incoming disturbance. but it also depends on how quickly we get the onshore winds, which the coast will get it first, cooling things back down into the 60s at the beaches, 70s for the coastal zones, and for interior areas. As we know, it takes a little bit of extra time for that cooler Pacific air to reach the interior areas, but still maybe in the mid 80s, some upper 80s, and then a few spots in the lower 90s. So look for some changes there. Eastern Washington still in the 90s and triple digits. But then we all cool down on Wednesday. We have that natural AC on full blast by then. You see the coast in the mid 60s, and then interior areas below normal in the low and mid 70s. So trending cooler, and our friends in Eastern Washington will feel that relief. Speaking of next week, we just had our full moon peak this morning, Saturday morning. The full sturgeon moon is gorgeous, but over the next couple of days, we'll still have the Perseid meteor shower visible, but it peaks August 12th to the 13th. But it's going to be visible all the way to August 23rd, but it's most active. You'll likely see the most meteors per hour August 12th to the 13th. Now on average, about 25 to maybe 75 meteors per hour likely, potentially up to 100 are possible. The Perseid meteor shower is usually the one that everyone loves, and a lot of enthusiasts love this particular meteor shower. And with that, hopefully we have clear skies. We'll see. It depends on what happens with that ridge and the incoming disturbance. But what you want to do, as we know, find a place, an open area. Even then, if it's not too open, you're looking to the northeast. So you'll still see them, but give your eyes plenty of time to adjust. Go out away from city pollution and look to the northeast, look up, look to the northeast. Be patient, but you'll likely see lots of activity. But the best viewing is always after midnight. We still have some little glimmer of daylight even past 9 o'clock, even 10 o'clock almost, even though our sunsets are getting earlier, which in Seattle right now it's about 8:30 p.m. So best viewing after midnight until the pre-dawn hours. So 12 or midnight to about 3, closer maybe to 3:30 or so, but that's where you'll have the best viewing. It does lie in the middle of the week, but you still can view them tonight as well, because we'll have mainly clear skies. So once again, your 7-day forecast, get ready for the heat. We're not talking record-shattering heat, but we're still in the middle of summer and we still have plenty of heat to deal with. And thankfully, it's not going to be super long duration. And you see not much relief overnight. As of now, we don't have any alerts in place, but if that should occur, we'll be sure to keep you posted on air and online. I know 85, 86, that's nothing. It's summertime in the Pacific Northwest. But remember, a lot of people don't have ACs. They don't have adequate ways to stay cool and to stay hydrated. And then people, pardon me, and people who work outside and you're in the direct sun, you can easily add 10, 20 degrees to how it feels to your body out there. So take care of yourself. Enjoy the weekend. Find ways to beat the heat as well. Into the middle half and the end of the month, model guidance is trending on the cooler side of things, below normal, if anything, or near normal. That could change, but the outlook, the long duration, long-term outlook is showing the potential for temperatures to be on the cooler side instead of any heat wave or anything of that nature. Remember, you can always find the latest forecast on King 5's website, king5.com, on air, as well as the free King 5 streaming app that you can always find the latest extended forecast and newscast.